AI tools have made a lot of things quicker and easier for business owners, from content creation to market research and even generating your own website with the click of a button. So as a website designer myself of over 8 years, do I need to be worried that AI is going to take my job? Because from the outset, these AI website generators do look as if they're going to be taking website designers out of the equation and have our clients just creating their websites themselves easily. But I want to see, are they actually any good from the perspective of a potential client? So in this video, I'm going to be trying out 5 different AI website builders and taking you along with me. So I've created a bit of a dummy brand here. We're going to imagine that we are creating these websites for a pizza event wedding catering company. So imagine there's a business that has a pizza van and they go around different events and weddings offering pizzas as catering to the guests. And this is the logo and brand I've just quickly put together on Canva. And I've also written a bit of a brief here that we'll be pasting into the AI tools as well. And I'm going to kick off with the Hostinger AI powered website builder, and we're going to click to try for free. Okay, so straight away it's asking me for my brand name, which is Pizza Bay, and we want to select a website type, which for us is essentially going to be a business showcase. We don't need a e-commerce or anything like that. And then we need to add the description. So some of this I can cut out. We're just going to say that we are a wood-fired pizza van company catering for the UK for brides and young couples. They have a laid-back bohemian style, and these are some of their hobbies. Let's paste that in. It's also saying include what colors and fonts you'd like to use. And in the branding that we've got here, we've kind of got these kind of burnt orange and rust and nude colors. So let's just go ahead with that to start with and click create a website. Okay, so this took about 15 seconds and this is what we've got. So first impressions are it's pretty basic, pretty simple, but we've got kind of 3 items in the menu here and a brief overview of services. It has generated some images for us. I assume that the images are AI generated. I didn't kind of read any information about that. All of the text will be AI generated as well. So delicious wood-fired pizza catering for your laid-back bohemian style wedding. It's basically just copied the exact prompt that I put in there. Wedding catering, festival catering, yeah, fine. Happy brides, so a space for testimonials, a bit of an about us, and a contact form as well. And it's even included a subscribe to the newsletter bit and obviously all the contact stuff. If we head onto the menu, this is great as well. It's kind of realized that we are offering probably a menu of pizzas that's going to be the same price for most of our clients. So that's good. And then the contact page again. So first impressions is it's got basically all of the simple needs that we would need. Obviously we haven't like uploaded a logo yet or really incorporated any of this branding because it was just asking me for roughly the color ideas. And it is obviously lacking any kind of character or anything special that makes this stand out. This could easily just be any website template where you've just replaced some of the text essentially. And if I go into full edit mode, it's going to make me select a plan to get started with that. So that was kind of my free trial over. Then you have a few different pricing options depending on the contract that you want to take out with this company. So as you can see, it is significantly cheaper than a lot of typical website building platforms or website hosting platforms that you might be using as a website designer, like Squarespace, Wix, Showit, WordPress, even WordPress hosting. I think comes in at more expensive than this. Okay, so I have just paid for the 1-month plan of hosting it because I am intrigued, and hopefully it's going to take us back to the original design that we were just using. Okay, it has, that's cool. So let's go into full edit mode. Now that we've seen the basic thing that is put together for us, how customizable is it really once you have created a full account? Let's go into edit the website, and it looks a lot, I will say, it looks a lot like Squarespace in that you have the blue buttons where you add the section, and it's got some pre-designed sections here. I imagine they've taken a lot of inspiration from Squarespace actually. And when you're clicking on the section, you have the option to move the sections around, duplicate them, edit section by section and change the color, let it have a background image. Basically, if you have used Squarespace at all before, this is almost identical in terms of the way that the sections are built. In terms of adding elements, let's see. Yeah, it looks like you can add, let's see how customizable this is. Looks like you can, click and drag it around in a grid system as well, very much like Squarespace. So just get rid of that. and we can view our pages and navigation here as well and edit everything on there. So if we click into here, we've got options for colors, fonts, buttons, animations, and I know that I just said it's very much like Squarespace with the elements and the sections, but when it comes to the website styles, this is a lot more basic in terms of the customizations that you can choose for each element. So I can adjust the color palette here. I can adjust the fonts. It looks like I can also choose from their list of fonts, which again looks similar options wise to Canva, things like that. However, again, there's limited customizations in terms of headings would be one font, paragraphs and navigation would be another font. If you wanted any more fonts than that and types of text than that, I'm not sure how you would go about it. Buttons have got 3 kind of design options, which again, fairly limited, but most websites, most simple websites, you might only want to need those options. If I click up here, is it going to let me replace the logo? Yes. Again, we're a little bit limited in terms of like padding and spacing settings up here. Let's go back to the home page and see how easy it is to edit text. Yep, I can just click into that and start typing. I can edit and replace the images or generate AI images, which is quite cool. In the website settings area, it does look like you have the option to add a blog or an online store. I'm not sure if that would add it straight away here. Oh, it does. That's quite cool. So it's got blogging functionality. Let's go back into the website settings. What I'm interested as well is the SEO. So it does look like you can change the SEO titles and meta descriptions of each of the pages, which is good. It's suggesting some keywords. And let's have a click on the actual images as well and see if you can edit things like alt text on here. Yeah, you can. And I think it's actually auto-generating that too, which is quite cool. And you've got some different image settings. So overall, this does feel quite customizable and it's quite a user-friendly format. It's fairly self-explanatory, which is great. It does have the SEO settings and other settings, and most of these tools do let you edit the mobile site and how that looks as well. But overall, very easy to use. If you're happy with most of the basic design settings and style settings, then that could work quite well. So the next website builder we're going to be using is Durable.co. Again, we're just going to get straight started into it, and it's going to ask us what type of business we're building. Now this one has actually asked us for our location, which the other one didn't, and the business name. And it's just going to generate a website straight away. However, this version, the Durable tool that we're using now, didn't ask me about any branding. And it actually didn't ask me about any kind of description, so I wasn't able to put in a prompt at any point yet. I guess it would probably do that after I've signed up. So again, to be honest, the template that they've given me here, because they haven't asked for any other details, it really just looks like this could be a template for any business ever. They've kind of understood what it is I'm selling and have incorporated that into the text, but realistically, this is just a general, very general website template. Up here, if I click regenerate, I can ask it to regenerate the entire website, or it is asking if I want to get more specific about colors, which in order to actually put in my brand colors, it's wanting me to sign up. So let's just go ahead. So I think I'm still on a free trial now, and it seems to give me more options before I have to pay than the hosting one. It's basically saying that I can design this whole website, but if I actually want to make it go live and have a custom domain name, that's the point at which I have to pay, which is quite cool because I can play around with it. So if we click on this style up here, now I'm going to start putting in my brand information. So it feels like these, I'm actually kind of creating like different options for different colored sections. So like this section up here is using the color palette from this A option, and then I imagine if I wanted to add more sections to the page, I would be able to choose from these 4 options to be different colored sections almost. I'm just going to leave the A and B options there for now. And what else can I change? It looks like I can change the fonts, which is quite cool. It comes with some font packs that I could start with, or we can go for some custom fonts as well. I wonder how many options they have to choose from. Okay, so a reasonable amount, similar to like the options that we'd get in Canva, I guess. So maybe let's have a look for the one that I've done in Canva. So this is Brie. Let's have a look and see if it has Brie. Yeah, it's got Brie. So maybe let's just go with that. And then for body text, what was it that I was using? I think it's Futura. So let's go ahead and see if it's got that. It doesn't look like it's got Futura, so we'll go with possibly another one that it might have. Okay, what else can we edit? It hasn't asked me at any point if I want to edit the color of the fonts. I wonder if you do that per section. Yeah, I can't see that there is a way for me to actually change the color of the fonts. It looks like just black is the option. I'm not sure if that's because I'm missing something here. That seems a bit odd. What else can I edit? Maybe the buttons. Could do an outline button. I quite like the solid ones. Yeah, that's quite limited in terms of the design options for how your buttons might look. Style 2, that just insinuates that you could create 2 types of buttons, which I guess is quite nice, but that is very, very simplistic, I would say. And it seems like the customizations that I can do with the fonts, the colors of the fonts and the different options for fonts are very, very limited here as well. Looks like you can upload a custom browser icon, which is great. It hasn't asked me about my logo yet. Maybe I need to click on up here. Okay, cool. Okay, so I have uploaded my logo to the branding section, but it seems to think that I haven't. Again, I'm doing all of this very quickly, and I'm kind of approaching this as though I am a total website beginner as well, because realistically, that is what most of my clients are. They're not like super technically savvy. And already I'm finding this very confusing, and there's a learning curve for sure, even though they make it look like generating an AI website is going to be super, super easy. It is, but actually if you want to have any kind of customization, you still have to end up learning how to use this website building tool, if you see what I mean. Also, I'm definitely feeling that Durable is much less customizable and also much more basic than the Hostinger one already. It has only created a homepage for me, so I would need to go through and add like a whole extra page and have it generated page by page rather than having that already done for me. And again, it's just very simple what it's putting on here. It hasn't really taken into account the specific needs of the business, whereas Hostinger had that kind of menu layout, whereas this could just be a web page for absolutely any business. So let's park Durable and move on to the next one. So I'm really interested to see how the Wix AI website generator works because as you may know, I'm a Squarespace website designer. I specialize in Squarespace, and so I do always have my finger on the pulse of like comparisons between those two platforms. And so if Wix does have an AI website builder that actually works really well, this could be quite a substantial competitor for Squarespace. So I'm excited to see how this works. Let's go ahead and click create. So this one's not even going to generate anything for me before I sign up to a Wix account. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I managed to log in, and now we're just going to start a chat with the chatbot. And we're going to call this website Pizza Bay because that's the business name. And I quite like how it works almost like ChatGPT in that you're actually having a conversation with this bot that's going to help us set up the website. Okay, so it's asked me, tell me about the type of pizzas, any unique selling points. So the pizzas are wood-fired pizzas. We make them in a pizza van, specialize in offering this as a catering option for weddings and events. I already like how it is asking me very specific questions in order to get the best information. I hope it asks a little bit more about like brand colors and things like that as well. Okay, so any specific features or functionality in mind, aside from showcasing the menu and catering options. That's really cool that they've already clocked on that we need a menu on there. Specific features and functionality, again, really good that it's asking these specific questions. It definitely feels like it wants more information, and hopefully the result will be better because of it. Just said we need a contact form. I don't really know what else. I hadn't thought this far ahead for this brand. Oh, so it wants to know about the history of Pizza Bay. How did the idea come about? I assume this is because there's going to be a lot of focus on the AI written content and text on this website, rather than this being a tool to help them with the design of the website. I'm just talking out of my ass here. So started the business a year ago, want to bring bohemian fun to the wedding industry. Really like hitting those keywords so that it definitely gets us. Located in, let's just say, Truro Cornwall. Okay, do you have any additional goals for the website, such as building an email list or featuring customer testimonials? Yeah, customer testimonials. And yeah, let's do an email newsletter as well. Again, I love the detail that it's going into here. This is really promising. You're all set. Let's go to our personalized dashboard where we'll find a tailor-made setup, best template, and customized text and generated images. Okay, so it looks like it's actually not going to generate the full website for us. It's just going to suggest the best template and generate the text and the images, which is quite cool and helpful. And that is essentially, if we really think about it, what the other AI tools are doing. They've just called it a different thing. So that's quite cool. It's asking me to create the menu. It hasn't kind of assumed anything about the menu, or it's not putting any demo info in there. And it wants us to be able to take payment methods and table reservations online. Interesting. I'm just going to skip all of that and see if I can just go straight to the design site. Let's create a site for you. Maybe it will generate the full website design for us. Interesting. It's quite cool that it's talking you through the full brief and what it's actually doing behind the scenes. So I'll have a site structure which includes one page, and it will be generated from the site description. The theme will feature monochromatic and elegant shades of black and white. So it was doing great up until then. I'm not sure why it's decided to do monochromatic and elegant, considering I've told it the whole time that the audience is laid back and bohemian. I kind of get what they're going for. And do you know what? If this was any other type of brand, like in the wedding industry, and maybe it wasn't a pizza van, which is a very casual laid back thing, even if it was like a photographer for a bohemian type wedding or a florist for a bohemian type wedding, this actually looks really nice. I like the fonts that they've used. I like the layouts. But it looks very like classy, and the vibe that we were going for with this brand, albeit it hadn't asked us for colours and any more of the vibe than that, it's got that quite wrong, I would say. However, it is asking if we want to make it a little different. Okay, so I clicked regenerate and it's actually come up with a slightly new option. Well, I didn't click regenerate the whole site. I asked it to make it a little bit different, which it has done. I could regenerate the whole site design, and it would be interesting. You could just keep going on that. However, I've noticed that I can actually click on each of these things and change just that about it. So this is where I can put in more of our brand information. Colours should include a burnt orange and nude tones. I've just said the heading font should be a fun display font. And see how it gets on with that, because that's quite a vague brief. But again, we're coming at this from the point of view of what our clients might be talking to these AI tools about, and they're not necessarily going to know all of the right design terms for all of these things. So let's see what it comes up with now. Okay, so this is much better. It's used our colours in here. I would say that it's still looking quite formal, but it's good to see that you can obviously tweak that and go back and forth. But overall, what we've ended up with here, I think, is the best out of the ones that we've tried so far. So we'll park this for now. Okay, so the next one I wanted to try is called Reloom. I've seen some good reviews about this online. However, it works a little bit differently than the other generators that I've tried, in that I don't think that it personally hosts your website once you're done designing it. It kind of creates the wireframe for you, and then you need to choose like WordPress or Webflow for it to be hosted on. But let's just go ahead and give it a try. So describe the company in a sentence or two. Let's just use the first bit of my little description here. And straight away what it's done is it's set up a website sitemap, kind of detailing the different sections that you might want on your homepage, and then the other pages that you might want, which that all looks quite good, to be honest. I'm happy to go ahead with that. It looks like you can also add other sections at this point, and also add sections to the page. What happens if I click generate content? Oh, it's adding the section for me. That's quite cool. So it's making suggestions about the sections that you might want, and you can adjust that at this point. Let's go ahead and just generate all of the content for each of the pages now, and see what happens when we get to the wireframe stage next. It's definitely kind of beefed out these pages a lot more than what is possibly needed, but let's just see what it generates. This is a pretty cool, quick way of creating a wireframe for a website. And there's some good kind of sections on here that look quite nice. And it's saying that in order to view or create a wireframe for these other pages, they need to upgrade to the paid plan, which is fair enough. So essentially what this has done is just created a very simple wireframe, which I guess we'll be able to add styling to once you've created an account and you want to go deeper with it. It doesn't look like I can click on any of this at this point to actually edit any of the styling, and maybe that needs to be something that you do as a next stage. It's not super obvious what I should do as a next step. I guess sign up. Oh, that's great. Let's just go ahead and see what happens. So it looks like the paid versions give you access to a lot more features, but let's just go ahead and get started with free. So where it's asking me what platforms are you using with Reloom, this is kind of what I mean in that this will just create you the wireframe. You then need to go and add this to another platform, which is where this is probably not going to be the super easiest option for a client. Okay, so I've signed up and it's taking us back here. Oh, it's saying that I need to upgrade. Oh, so maybe I can just do one page on the free plan. I don't understand. And also it's still not seeming to give me any design or styling options. So maybe that is all this tool is supposed to be doing. It's just giving us the basic wireframe. Or maybe I need to upgrade to the paid plan in order to do the styling. I honestly have no idea. And if I've got no idea, a lot of my clients will probably have given up by this point and found this too confusing. So let's park Reloom. I think this is more of a designer's tool for coming up with quick wireframes, which is great, but not really the point of this test. Okay, so another one that I tried earlier, which I forgot to film the first part, but it just basically asked me for a bio that looked like this, just telling it to create a website for this business. This is the audience. This is who they are. And it has come up with this. It didn't ask me for any branding info at any point. It did ask me to create a free account. And the benefit of this tool, which is called Code Design, is it does have a one-time fee option or offer at the moment. So you literally pay like £90 for a lifetime fee of access to this tool and having a live website, which is pretty amazing. However, obviously what is created here is fairly basic, fairly simple. It's essentially just giving you a template, and now you need to go in and edit the template with your branding, with your logo, with all of your text if you want to change any of this text and your images based on what it's come up with here. This again is an example of where it's not really any different than just having a website builder having a template, which have obviously been around for years. And once you get your content into the template like this, you still have to do a lot of actual editing, like changing the text and changing the layout. And so there's still a lot of stuff that our clients would need to do to get it to probably a place that they're happy with. And also there's just not a lot of flexibility once you've got these layouts in place for you to make changes to the layouts once it's up. So that is something to bear in mind. I didn't go super in depth into all of these, and there's definitely more customizations that you can do on all of those platforms. However, the ones that really stood out to me were definitely the hosting and Wix options, because I feel like you could go into more depth with those and they felt like the easiest to use. And I must admit that these AI website builders are definitely good if you want to get set up quickly. Also, when I was looking at the pricing, they do tend to come in a bit cheaper than most of the other website building tools. So if you want something super simple, these could be good for you. However, they definitely vary in quality and the amount that you're able to customize on them. And I really feel that in a large part, most of these tools are no different than just using a website template with a website builder like Squarespace or Wix. And website templates for these kind of tools have been around for years and haven't really affected the job of website designers like me, because my clients don't want a template, they want a custom website built for them. The designs that it's generating are obviously not going to be hugely unique, and I think a lot of the time they look like they're going to be quite trend driven as well. I also definitely noticed that even with the most in-depth tools, the customization options in terms of what fonts you can edit and how you apply the branding is definitely limited in comparison to other website builders and what a website designer would obviously do for you. Most of the tools have very limited functionality as well. So in terms of adding e-commerce and a blog, yes, it might have the most basic features, but it's not going to do everything that a more complex business might need it to do. And yes, in terms of SEO, a lot of these tools do seem to have some quite good options. However, I would say that the designs are not necessarily optimized for best practices in terms of conversions and accessibility as well. But the main thing which I can conclude from this is that even if you are going to use one of these AI website generation tools, there's still a reasonable learning curve with all of these softwares and some technical input and content input and branding input needed into all of these in order to get a design that actually looks professional. So this is where I would say if you are someone who worries about the direction that AI is going in and how that secure that makes you feel in your industry, reflect back on who your actual ideal clients are and the value that you as a designer actually have for them. Easy website building tools and platforms like Squarespace, like Wix, and I'm a Squarespace designer who specializes in using that platform that is commonly considered as an easy website building tool. These tools and templates have already existed for years and it has not had a detrimental effect to the website designer industry. In fact, it's only given more opportunities for website designers like me who specialize in using a specific tool to help people who don't want to have to learn the tool themselves. Technically, anyone with a basic technical knowledge and a drive to build those websites themselves using specific softwares themselves can already set up the website for themselves if they want to. Your value as a website designer is building sites for people who don't want to have to learn a tool at all, or they only want to have to do the very basics, they don't want to get dragged down in the technical stuff, and or people who don't have the time to do that as well. They're busy running their businesses, they don't have the time or the inclination to be messing around with softwares, no matter how easy they may seem on the outset. The ideal clients for us as website designers are the people who value expertise and experience, who want to create a custom design and who don't want to have to put in the time and effort and energy themselves. And right now these tools still require some of that. So I would say overall, don't freak out about AI. Instead, look at ways that you can harness it to streamline your own business. Maybe you could become the go-to website designer who specializes in one of these tools, and your whole USP could be that you can have a website set up within a day for one of your clients. Or just look at other ways that you can use AI to help your business and your client's business. For example, I have online courses for website designers teaching you how to grow your business with content marketing, and a lot of the strategies I teach are utilizing AI in an ethical way to assist us with that content creation process at the different stages. I'll leave a few links below this video with details about my courses if you are interested in that, but overall I'm just saying that AI is not something that we need to fight against or necessarily be worried about at this point as designers. We just need to be ahead of the curve and using it in ways that can benefit us and our clients. I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and I will see you again next week with another one. Thanks so much for watching.